Good afternoon. Yes, I hope I'm not waking you up, but okay, good. Anyway, what I want to talk to you about is a symposium on religions together for humanitarian action. And first, I want to start with a little personal story. I was many years with the International Committee of the Red Cross. And then my colleagues were telling me, we know you are interested in religion, but actually don't mention it. It's embarrassing for us. Now I'm with the Order of Malta. My name is Michel Veuthey, as you could see, and no, you don't see it, no. But anyway, I'm with the Order of Malta, so that's a Catholic organization, a Christian organization, and that's also a humanitarian organization. And I don't think there is any contradiction. And that's why it's not only true for Catholic or Christian organizations, it should be true also for Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, and whatever other religions. We should be able actually to conduct humanitarian action in respecting fundamental humanitarian principles. Okay, that's the gist of this symposium. And you see, we are organizing this in Geneva on the 27th of May. So it's a bit of an advance warning, so to speak. But nevertheless, we are trying to have then as a goal, first, a better understanding of the specific contribution of faith-based organizations. And actually, not only in aid, not only in relief assistance, but also in protecting civilian populations, and not only in natural disasters, but also in armed conflict. Then also you see the second aim is to contribute to the World Humanitarian Summit, because we know that, for example, Jamila Mahmoud, who is the director of the World Humanitarian Summit Secretariat, she's a medical doctor. She was with Mercy Corps in Malaysia, and she's keenly also interested to have this specific contribution of faith-based organizations recognized. And what we want to have it not only recognized in the Istanbul summit, but also in the post-Istanbul process, and actually in the post-2016 plan of action. Then you see we'll have two high-level panels. And the first panel will be on the present situation, assessing the facts, assessing facts and figures, and assessing also issues. And among those issues, you see what are the characteristics of faith-based institutions. Are faith-based institutions respecting humanitarian principles, and specifically humanity, impartiality, neutrality? And then what is their specific contribution to humanitarian action? I believe there is a specific contribution, because, for example, what we can say is that in many countries, faith-based organizations have the trust of local populations. Even they have the trust of parties to conflicts. And so they possibly are in a better position to have access to not only the populations, but also to decision makers. Then, of course, people will tell us, but religions are feeding conflicts. Religions are actually causing conflicts. It might be true, but the reverse could also be true, that religious leaders could actually contribute to a peaceful contribution at the local level or even at the international level. And you see, religions useful for access and protection? Yes, I believe so. And even my old organization, the ICRC, now is recognizing that actually having contacts with religious leaders, spiritual leaders, is part of the solution for an organization like the Red Cross. So that's why I think this is very important also to see that the present situation is not fully recognized, is possibly not perfect, but nevertheless needs to be acknowledged, needs to be recognized, needs to be publicized. And what we want to do, and especially in this first panel, is to come not so much with good words, but to come with facts and figures, to have organizations coming with field representatives giving us good cases, good examples of respect of humanitarian principles by faith-based organizations. Then you see we'll have a second high-level panel, and this second high-level panel emphasis will be on the future. What should we do to do better? How can we do better to assist and protect, and especially civilian populations in armed conflict? So you say it's not the easiest situation, but as actually the previous speaker was saying, quite often we ignore those many conflict situations, and we should possibly rather work seriously and address them really seriously. And you see, then how can religions contribute to gain the trust of populations and conflicting parties? I told you that already now it's a fact, but probably it could be better used. Second, how can religions contribute to a better respect of fundamental humanitarian rules and principles? And I can tell you that there again, I'm mentioning the ICRC. The ICRC now in many countries discovered that it's not in speaking with professors in universities, but it in having a dialogue in madrasas, a dialogue with spiritual leaders, and to explain to them that the Geneva Conventions actually are not in contradiction with their faith. And actually, they are not also in contradiction with other faiths. But then you need to go out of your legal box or your legal toolbox and to try to listen, to try to engage in a dialogue with people. And I think we could do much more of this, and we should do much more of this, and possibly with that we could achieve quite miraculous, so to speak, results. Then you see, how can religions better promote reconciliation and resilience building? Of course, some people would say, oh, but you know, reconciliation, that's political. I say yes and no. Of course, that's a task of political authorities. Of course, governments have their own sovereign right to wage war or to negotiate peace. But still, a good lawyer like my friend Kay would say, according to the UN Charter, of course. And I agree with you that also at times religious leaders would need to be more familiar with positive law and beginning actually with the UN Charter. But nevertheless, religious leaders certainly could do more in trying to, I may say, lessen the fire, you know, in trying to stop fueling conflicts, in trying to convince political leaders that actually it would be in their best interest to resume dialogue and to negotiate. Then, also resilience building we understand that resilience building is a key word here, so I don't want to go too long into this. What I want to finish with, and thank you for the reminder about the time, is a provisional list of speakers. Some of them, as you see, need to be confirmed, but we shall have Dr. Jamila Mahmoud. She told me, I'm not sure not to come or not to come. But anyway, someone from the World Humanitarian Summit Secretariat will be there because we are organizing this jointly, the Order of Malta and the World Humanitarian Summit. Second, Michael Muller is Director General of the UN office in Geneva. Third, Ambassador Sliman Sheikh is the permanent observer of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Then you see Professor Alexander Alainikov is the Deputy High Commissioner for Refugees. Dr. El Hajj Assi is the Secretary General of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, the Apostolic Nuncio in Geneva, a representative of Islamic Relief, Religions for Peace, and many other faith-based organizations. The Austrian Minister of Foreign Affairs confirmed his participation. Dr. Cornelio Sommaruga, former ICRC president, and the Grand Chancellor and the Grand Hospitaller of the Order of Malta. But that's provisional because we are still contacting people. The list of speakers is not yet carved in marble, and we are still working on it. But anyway, you are all invited to come. It will be a public event. It will take place in the Palais des Nations in Geneva in room 17. There are 600 seats, so I hope you can find one if you happen to be in Geneva. So if you have any question, I would be happy to answer. Yes.
A country like India, with a population of 20 billion people, any representation of this, and India has many religions, they all have to get together for DRR. What is your vision?
Okay. I can tell you that, for example, an organization I'm mentioning here, Religions for Peace, has now a Secretary General. He's an Hindu. And we hope that there will be indeed a Hindu on our panels. Yes? He did? A very last question, because I think our time is up. No? Okay, well, thank you very much for your attention. And again, let's stay in touch. I can give you, yes, we can talk after. Thank you, sir.